Hi, this is Tammy, founder of Numbers Protocol. There are many people asking in the community that they want to know more about the team. In order to respond to the request, we have designed the Behind the Project podcast.
Good evening, Giovanna and members community. It's really nice to have you here with us. So before we start in the podcast today, so Giovanna, can you give our audience a short introduction about yourself?
Hi, I'm Giovanna. I'm artist and curator. I'm based in New York.
So, Giovanna, so as I know, you are an artist based in New York, and also you have a lot of work in the open sea, and you are also a famous NFT artist. So, can you share with our audience that how you start the combination between the art and technology? Is there any turning point in your career life?
I have a VR company. I have a web design company before that. Last year, during the pandemic, one of my collector, he collected several of my fine art paintings. He gave me the commission. So I made my first piece on OpenSea. After that I just I sold it within one week, and after that I keep selling. So I start to help the art community. So I host a lot of clubhouse. I just tell all the artist group that how can artists can make some side income during the pandemic, so artists don't need to struggle, because I know there's a lot of space they're not open, they cannot go in to showcase their art in gallery. So for me, like NFT is like alternative way. It's give artists more opportunities, they can sell their art besides go to the traditional fine art market.
Yeah, it's really interesting that many photographers and artists are now aiming to step into the Web3 world, especially after the COVID. I think the COVID really changed a lot of things. So, what's your thought about the digital transformation into the art field, like incorporate into the new technology?
I feel like because especially in the past, if we want to make some art, we have to rent the studios, and we have to buy a lot of art supplies that costs a lot of money. Like we use these days we use a computer, laptop, iPad, or even just iPhones. You can just work with your app and you can work in anywhere. It's environmental friendly, and also it's easy for artists, whoever they want to work in anywhere, and also preserve the work as a digital format. So we don't need to invest too much, but we can actually work anytime and feel more easy that we don't need to spend a lot of money to invest ourselves if we want to become a well-established artist. That in the past we have to spend a lot of money. So right now I think it's easier.
Yes, I think digital just kind of gave people a much easier way to get into the medium. And it's really exciting to see where it goes. The accessibility of artists is like a pivotal point to the art field, and we're all looking forward to seeing more combination and application between the art and technology. So, Giovanna, as a photographer and artist, so can you share with our audience that what's your point of view about the NFT booming for the past 2 years? Do you see any possibility other than just selling work in the NFT market?
Yeah, especially I think because my undergraduate, I was a cinema studies. I took cinematography and the photography class. I feel like in the past, photograph is not that easy to sell, especially it's very hard to ask a gallery represent a photographer. If you want to become succeed, probably you have to do a lot of commercial photography, like something like if you want to show for the fashion magazine or something like star photos. But I do see the opportunities that I know many of my friends that like include myself. I used to use my iPhone. I took a lot of photos during the early year when I live in New York, when I before I start my company. I was a social media manager that I help my company pick the photos, and also I do a lot of Instagram lifestyle photos. I feel like okay, so why not if we can monetize with our photos, especially for photographers, or some filmmakers, like people whoever work for the more like a digital multimedia format, because in the past it's very hard for us to fit in any type of a group. Like it's not mainstream. It's still like people they don't really like to collect photo than the other type of format or art style. But when you meant it as an NFT, you can actually give more value on it. So that's something I feel like. Um, and also we can the other benefit is we can showcase in the virtual space whatever that is, a mobile phone or tablet computers or like a metaverse. So this is a especially for photograph that's a very good format to showcase in the metaverse. So that yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, and we also know that actually for the product of numbers protocol, our capture app and our capture club, that Giovanna is the early adapter about using our technology. So can you share with us that how do you find the numbers, our tool, and also how do you see the potential between numbers and the whole art photography field?
I feel like especially like these days, of course, people always can copy and paste and they just click the right click button, right? So they can save. It's very easy to just take the other people's work. And the correct, I think most probably before you can sell your art, I think for most of a creator or photographers and artists that we care if we can have our name on it. So I heard about numbers protocol. I think that was like 1 or 2 years ago. It was really early from one of my Telegram group. I'm not even remember who said that. I feel like wow, this is really good that you can give the creator credits and is a like a in app. Um, it's a really kind of a breakthrough technology that immediately we can have our creators and it give the authentication is also I think is protect collectors as well that they know they can know this is directly from the whoever the creator. I feel like that is a really good, is a really breakthrough technology to do that. And also for artists that we do like to see our names everywhere. Besides that just a man, like they say, even you man NFT that people they can still steal your art. And Numbers Protocol really give artists and photographers is more we feel more comfortable on the one hand. The other thing is that really we feel more um, it gave us a more opportunity to build our online reputations and also branding. We can do a lot of things to brand ourselves as creators. Not so. I think that's really great.
Yeah, really thanks, Giovanna. So actually, we met Giovanna in the March of 2022 when we visited the NFTOA, and Giovanna just come to our booth and say she's the early adapter of our protocol. So I really thanks Giovanna who you believe us in the very early at the very beginning stage. So what we want to do is that we think technology should enable artists to exercise control over their work to more easily sell it or to more strongly protect against others appropriating it without the permission. Also, want to ask a question to Joanna that for the perspective of a content creator, do you think the technology now is really helping the creators like you to bring your work to Web3 world?
I feel like there's still a lot of space. Like we are really early. But I think now, I noticed the one thing that numbers protocols and captured app they do solve the problem that is easier if you can mint the photos directly from your phone. And also it gives you more, of course is more environmental friendly and budget friendly too. Like Ethereum these days is very expensive to mint NFT. The gas fee, that's something that's always is a barrier. Of course, well, that's even right now. I feel like that's too expensive. So there is a several way. Of course, we still have to polish and also improve because the whole Web3 movement is still really early. Um, I feel like, but at least, like if we can have the proof of ownership, the proof of authentications, um, so that's both protect the collectors and the artists and photographers as well. So that's something I think like numbers protocol really that's very strong points that's something that's really um I think this is really that's make your protocol different from the other Web3 platform.
Yes. So, despite Giovanna, we also met some artists in NFTLA, and we talked to the NFT with a lot of artists. So, some of them believe that 2022 is going to be the year of real photography NFT or real creation of NFTs instead of randomly choose feature JPG profile. So, Giovanna, can you also share your point of view about this to us?
Yeah, I feel like especially like these days a lot of like there are people they prefer to I feel like especially everyone can be a creator. So that's why like the new social media app like a TikTok is so popular. And it's so easy that you can just do create something with your phone. You can also think about the other way that you can be even more authentic. Like if you use a captured app, that you can give the you can tell people like that they created like the locations and put your name on it, and that's something I think that's a really great. What I see it is not, and it's not only encourage professional photographer to do it, and it's also give a lot of younger generation, like younger creators, they can have more place. They can actually they can even just earn some pocket money beside, like we all know, like live in the United States, even you go to college, the tuition is so expensive. But yeah, I feel like there's a great opportunities for people whoever want to monetize their creations, their photo, and it's so easy that you never know, like when you make something and that can give you some income. And especially now we have inflation that I always feel like for creators is always as long as you keep create something that you always can make it, like. So this is something I feel like is so positive, especially for creators.
Yes, so we also have a lot of feedback from the creators. And so, besides the art creators, and we also know a lot of friends that running a gallery, physical gallery, or even a virtual gallery. So, I also want to ask a question for our friend to Giovanna that, like, if the future, the blockchain, the NFT will serve as an auction or shopping catalog of the digital art. So how does the impact operation of to the physical gallery? So in your point of view.
I feel like there's both a negative and the positive side. I'll say the negative side first. There'll be a lot of a challenge for gallery, especially for some galleries if they still have like a traditional mind to do business. But on the other hand, I feel like gallery, they should just mint the NFT. They should just help the artists they represent to mint the NFT and do more show, like combine with the physical and the virtual. Why I say that? Because I feel like a lot of people they still like to see the art in person. I already curate several shows that's more like a combinations. I feel like that's an add-on, especially for galleries. Like we never know, when is the next lockdown. But if they can utilize the NFT, they can still make some sales. They still can represent certain artists. So the whole movement is, yeah, if you don't learn it, you don't accept this, the whole crypto and the NFT industry, and then there's a possibility that probably it's going to be bubble. I'm talking about like a physical gallery, so they have to get into the space.
Yes, so thanks, Joanna, for providing your view to the galleries. So also, Numbers are also hosting virtual gallery as Numberverse. So since this year, we invite a lot of artists to share their work in the Numberverse, including the Art to Go and Red Buildings in Taiwan, and also the Jan Silva and Kate Peters. So for next week, we'll also invite Giovanna to share her work in our Numberverse. So Giovanna, can you giving us a small peek about your coming work in the Numberverse?
Yeah, I select a few work that I think that can represent myself. As I mentioned before, because I come from traditional fine art industry, and I feel like so there's a lot of elements I can use before I create NFT or some digital art. I really like abstract painting. So I my style is like a mix with the abstract expressionisians and also some surrealisian. And when I start to think about NFT can be my next career, I go back to learn all the computer software and also these generative app again. So I have a different collections. I have a Trans Utopia, which I think about that NFTs are like a renaissance. So we have a revolutions for finance, for art, for history, for all the heritage and religion. So I use a lot of elements. That's a lot of public domain elements from Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is open source. They open for all the people. They can download. If you see the public domain image, you can just download. But I also use a lot of a twist because I think about, oh, maybe old is new, so I can mix with my reality, my metaverse. So I make a lot of layers, and I feel so fascinated with all these methodology and and science. So I put all the elements together. So I have my really I kind of my own style. So I also have a series called Transformations. So that's I have a these coded art. That's a very unique style that I have AI generate code, and I destroy and also reconstruct all the elements, which a lot of the world looks so interesting that I never thought about all the color and the combinations and lines and all these physical object they can turn into different things. So there's a several project I'm working on this year. Besides that, I have a Express Ren. That was like a movie I saw when I was a little. There is a it's an express train from Turkey to Paris. So this is a called Express Ren. Of course, it's not like a it's not like express train these days. They're not like that high end, but I was so fascinated because there are so many movie stories inspired from that trend. So I going to build a metaverse and maybe think about the collaboration with the Nimbus protocol, because that's like people they can actually upload the all the attraction and the landscape when they check in different attraction. That was a trend that, well, they still running. I shouldn't say was. They still running, and that's a trend that's go through the whole Europe. So I going to have a one piece of that, and I'm really looking forward to meet more collectors. Some of the collectors that now they become my friends. They gave me commissions, and they ask me like if they want to buy something. So I feel like that's really great.
Yeah, we're also very looking forward to Giovanna's work. So the work will, I think when our podcast is launched, your work in the Numberverse also launched. So it will be on May 23rd. So welcome everyone to come to our Numberverse and seeing the works from Giovanna.
Yeah, I going to shout out in
Yeah,
broadcast. Maybe even some party opening party on Clubhouse or Twitter Space.
yeah, that would be also very great. So, actually, just before our we recording the podcast, so last week it's a very difficult week
Oh
in
yeah, for
crypto
everyone,
world and
no
against
doubt.
world because yeah, yeah, because the price was just decreasing very a lot. So also the flow price of NFT dropped significantly. So Giovanna, so as a earlier adapter of the NFT and also the NFT artist, do you think the trend of the cryptocurrency will also affect the market
You
of
know,
the
this is
NFT?
a really good question because even the price draw down a lot. I saw one last week. In fact, there's a lot of my other friends. They got commission like one E's, two E's, but most only one on one final art NFT, not the collectibles. And the other thing is, we still have a really high market with Azuki and the Bored Ape or Milton Ape or something like a V friends, like Gary V's collections. You know, I have a lot of friends, even include myself. I'm not only make NFT, and I also collect some NFTs. We like to buy in the deep. Yeah, and I feel like I do see even the people maybe they don't feel happy, but there's still a lot of people they like to buy in the deep. So in another word, uh I don't see there's a direct influence between these the two like the price, the crypto price, and also the NFT market. You still can sell, well, but I'm not talking about those rock pool. Like if if people, your community, even your own community, they abandon you, of course you cannot make any sell. But there's another possibility that if your community is strong, that oh, so whatever, even you want to sell cheaper, you still can flip, you can still put your NFT into the market. um so that's tricky. And also we all know that crypto is all like a high volatility. You need to watch the price, but I don't think that is a really a lot of impact. Of course, it's because right now, of course, it's like 80 or 90% of NFT. They're more like collectibles. But I also observe the other data that in the fine art market report from Art Price, this is recently I just read the PDF. Like fine art industry, they think there's only like a fine art, like a one-on-one NFT or collectibles. Like Bored Ape is like a collectible. But people they willing to even still it's pricey for most of people they couldn't afford, but they still willing to buy blue chip. But I mean, how do you define like a blue chip collectibles? There's no, well, so far I didn't see any other collectible like a Bored Ape because it's just so many project they just copy and duplicate. Even the animal looks like if I want to just flip the collectible, why do I need to buy something looks so similar? Even the price is really low, but there is no value that you have to have a value on it. Like for me, like Board Ape is a signature. Is a blue chip is a signature because it is a unique style, and also there's a lot of details. The illustration, the character, the facial expression, the style, the costume, everything is so unique that make Board A is a blue chip. But I mean, what else like the other projects? So I still think there is a possibility that even people think the NFT market now is a bear market, but I feel like I still think it depends on the community and our itself. Well, I almost got one Azuki because they didn't accept my offer. And then the son of my friend, they got like a 4 5 Azuki. They keep asking me that should I sell it right now? I say no, maybe you hold it, just observe for a few days because for me it's the whole drama is a kind of incredible and is a kind of for me I think it's incredible that how come a founder can just self ex, expose all these drama by himself. I think which I think is not fair for Azuki's holder, especially the artwork. I think is good, great. The artwork is good. There's nothing wrong with the artwork, and then so you have to give your community more confidence that they don't hold another rock pool project. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah. Yes. And like you mentioned, so not only for a NFT creator, you also a NFT collector. So as a creator and also for the buyer, so how do you feel the difference between the traditional art market and the NFT market?
I feel like um it's now there's a lot of overlap. It seems like Christie and Sotheby they all get in the space, and the people are so like this is the most the highest market in the industry, and that made him all of a sudden become the well-known artist. Um, but I mean, I think that the yeah, as I mentioned earlier, because I just read a report and I felt the same. Traditionals are market prefer something not collectible unless they already like they have a certain well at some point that like a board ape that already it has a like an option price, the price value is already there. Otherwise it's very hard to persuade collect, especially for traditional fine art collectors. Not from my generation, like those are traditional fine art generation, like let's say like a Buffy's those age. They think that art should be something is more like a physical. I think they can accept virtual, but more like a combination. So it's like a Damon Hirst. You can you when you purchase NFT, you can choose to have a physical art, or you just burn it the NFT, so makes super rare. Um, I think that's how traditional fine art industry look the NFT and I know like the like Sotheby, Christie, and now even RC is like they're a startup but they doing pretty well to to do the option and also art fair. But they going to build their own NFT marketplace. So we know that or there's a startup called Masterworks. They going to they already they have these the revolutionary concept that you can actually own a fractional share of Picasso or Banksy, but you don't need to buy the whole. The whole concept is just like a Robin Hood Wall Street bet that you can own the fractional share of a stock, which I think the NFT is also this a very similar. You own the fractional, like you can actually divide it by your piece into different fractional piece. Yeah, and you even you don't have a lot of money to own the whole piece. You can own the fractional shares. um but of course it still is a long way to go, because I feel like we're like a, because the pandemic, there's a good or bad. The bad thing is we have to think about, how can we survive in this new normal situation. And the other hand is really because of the pandemic, we have to think about the other way to survive. So the technology is all of a sudden jump like for 100 years. So we're already in the future that we have to skip all the step, because if you don't learn all these new things, and then who knows, we all become bubbles. Right?
Yeah, so I also think that NFT widens the art field, like such as, so like in previous, maybe you can buy an artwork, so but you can have a conversation with the artist. But now that NFT is some kind of like empower people to truly join the project and can join the community, can have the conversation with the project founders, and can also participate in some maybe some meeting. So some NFT are also serving as a like some special access to like people can participate in some government meeting. So like I recently actually I buy a piece of NFT in Azuki. It's called Bobu. So it's a fragmentation of the NFT, and also I can use the, if I hold the pieces, I can just participate some vote. So also for numbers, we also create some project called Capture NFT that can also empowers the holder in the community to join our government's meeting. So I also want to ask Giovanna, how do you think about this kind of empowering
Oh yeah,
NFT?
I totally I like this idea. Most probably, even like I leave some paintings. I saw them on Satch and the other place, marketplace. But I mean, it's not like a search engine friendly. So I feel like what number protocols want to do, is actually give the artists and creator and photographers more space that you can build your online reputations, and also you can have more um, branding um, exposure besides you just release your art to sell. So in the past, we like, even right now, like the artists, if they want to be more search engine friendly, they have to be really active. Like I have a lot of friends, they just they create a lot of posts, and they shoot videos, they just upload to TikTok, Instagram, they do live, and they have to interact with the with others and people on social media. But besides that, I feel like okay, if there's a protocol that when you every time when you make something that is already on blockchain and with the creators authentications and then on it, that's of course that's a really big plus for artists.
Yes, and that's also Point Numbers Protocol, what we want to bring our technology to help the creators to build their own community, and also building their own branding, and to also to do the conversation between their supporters. So I'm really thank Giovanna for joining our Numbers podcast.
Pleasure. Very welcome. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and also we will also have a long-term ship collaboration between Giovanna, and starting from the Numberverse Artwork Show, the gallery, and will launch at May 23rd. And Also, for sure, we will have more and more collaboration. So everyone, so you can stay tuned and see what we want to bring the combination between art and technology to you.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and also
Yeah.
because I really think numbers protocol can help a lot of creators solve their exist problem.
Thank you for joining today, and thanks for all the audience to hearing the podcast today. Thank you. So we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.